Perry, believing the masters to be his, took them to London and sold them.
For 10 years, he said they worked and worked and worked and never had a penny. All their music was pirated.
Lee Perry had already been quite successful in his own right. He already had a reputation as a nutcase. It was traditional that the producer took all the money and the artist basically got a pittance. And this happened with the Wailers for some years. They had to go through what every artist in Jamaica has to go through, which is getting ripped off stupid.
The Wailers were furious, but ironically it was this betrayal which brought them to the attention of Esther Anderson and her partner Chris Blackwell of Island Records.
When I came to England and studied acting at the Actors Workshop, when I finished drama school, I did all the usual things like Dixon of Dark Green, The Saint, Danger Man, The Avengers, all these kind of work that was available for black people, which was not a lot at the time. Eventually did a film with Sidney Poitier, which won the Image Award for me and gave me an Oscar nomination. And I grew up in England struggling to actually express myself because there wasn't that much work. But alongside that, I was helping to introduce our music here through Island Records and my partner to bring out the music from Jamaica. We started Island Records here in England. It seemed at the time an impossible sort of dream, but between my partner and myself, it was just a little mini. We went from record shop to record shop, and I would go and I would bombard everybody with the records. We started out like that, and eventually people started buying the records. It was always on a sale and return basis, so it was 25 years it took. We worked very hard, and we achieved our goals. I mean, we were one of the first independent labels, so it was kind of like a revolution that took place and gave the industry, something that the young people, young musicians could then take control of their lives and be freer to express themselves.
What Bob was losing out financially, he was gaining in finding his feet, studio experience, and then Chris Blackwell noticing and signing him up. And it has to be taken into account that when Blackwell signed him, Island was not a reggae label, reggae was not popular.
I known Jimi Hendrix, right? And Bob reminded me of Hendrix. But I knew with Bob and the Wailers, not Bob alone, but Bob and the Wailers as a group, strong. I could see, once I heard Concrete Jungle and Slave Driver, that was it. I was totally committed.
By 1973, the Wailers had cracked Jamaica. Now it was time for them to take on the world. They were signed to Island Records, and for the first time, a reggae band had access to the best recording facilities.
We took him all around the Caribbean, and I photographed him all the time. We developed a very close relationship where we started to write together. Bob was very beautiful to look at, to photograph. He was just what the white world wanted. They would not accept Peter Tosh, who was very, very bright also, because he was too black. They never let Jimmy Cliff through because he was too black. But Bob, as the person leading the group, could go through and pull all the others through, and he could be the voice for them. Bob really wanted to get his voice out, to really stand as an example for liberation.
Hey, happy people, this here is something new. I know you're gonna like it.
The first album released with Island was 1973's Catch a Fire.
When Island released the first album, Catch a Fire, with the zipper lighter, for about a year and a half, it didn't sell. I mean, it didn't even sell enough to cover the recording session. And so basically, I knew that I had the answer. I said to him, if you smoke, you shouldn't be ashamed of it. It is part of your culture. My approach was to photograph Bob in the light that we have in Jamaica, showing the colour of our skin the way it should be shown. And I took his shirt off because he has a lovely colour. And once the light hit his skin and bounced back onto my lens, that was it.
Catch a Fire was re-released with a new cover shot by Esther.
That was such a controversial record in America because it was banned, and because it was banned, it became a huge hit.
Bob's songs were parables, messages of faith and warning. He never ceased to speak out against the oppressors, using his influence to highlight the exploitation of the black race. His lyrics reflected the plight of the demoralized people of Jamaica, seeking escape from the slums.
The way Jamaica is, you have one television station at those days, yeah? And most people listen to the radio, or you buy the paper. Some people couldn't afford the paper. So a lot of people can get the message when they want to hear through the music. If you go to Jamaica and you look around, you can see what Bob talking about. You see, you don't have to guess. It's not like a dream. It's not, you know, some people write and they write like fairy tales. You have to check the Bob was a poet also, you know.
At times he called me a slave driver because I was always pushing him to write. And he said, come on, let's write a song. And so basically I encouraged him to take his guitar with us everywhere we go. And so we would go around the island, so he'd bring his guitar and he'd do the reggae rhythm and the song would be born. It wasn't very hard to write songs because it was what was happening around us.
The songs Bob sang, they were, logic and common sense. He was strong to his cause.
We developed a very close relationship where we started to write together, and we wrote Get Up, Stand Up, flying over Haiti, a country which had experienced the most awful poverty and the most awful pain with slavery. We just wrote it there on the plane, on the paper, and just start talking, and he'd beat out a little rhythm on the seat of the plane, and that would be it.
He wrote some great pop songs with catchy choruses that you can sing. Right, that's the surface level. On an emotional level, and especially a groove level, the Wailers were an incredible band. Bob was an incredibly passionate singer, and these are things that strike an emotional chord no matter what style of music you're into. I mean, you can hate reggae and love Bob Marley. You know, it's just universal, and he's got a universal message. He's positive.
Lord, I gotta keep on moving. Lord, I gotta get on down.
The revolution and the struggle was using the pen to speak for us and using the music to drive the lyrics, to put the thing out so that all people could identify it, that it could become universal and really cross over. So I encourage him to write more protest songs rather than love songs.
Bob managed to have like these different personalities. I mean, the same album, he could be doing a song about war, a really brutal, graphic, realistic song, and then he'll be singing Waiting in Vain or Is This Love? You know, he just was able to translate whatever was going on in his head. It just came out, and it was always sounding like Bob. And he never sold out, got soppy or soft or anything like that. It was all part of him. Just he wasn't ever going to be just a relentless militant.
Hey, what is your own? What's your music to you?
My own